96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, thank you for tuning in. Not too long ago, Robin, you and I found something, and it indicated that there was a movie made in Ocala. W.C. Fields was in the movie, and we actually went on YouTube and found it, and it was a silent film, and W.C. Fields actually is running through downtown Ocala. It's kind of cool, right?
Very cool.
What was it called? The Way the Army Does It or something
Yes.
like that? Something like that.
The old Army game.
That's it,
Look
the
at
old
you.
Army game.
Look at
That's
David.
it.
All right,
That's it.
David
Good
Cook
job.
is in the studio. If you have lived here for any length of time, you know David as a journalist and an editor for the Ocala Star-Banner, contributed to all of our lives on a daily basis, practically, with his columns. And he's here today to talk to us about his book, The Way It Was, A Trek Through Marion County's Past. These are his articles, if I have it right. Pamela Stafford is here, and Maclyn Walker. Am I right? Good morning, everybody. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming in. How you doing, David?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Thank you.
You are our go-to guy for history of Ocala.
Somewhat, yes.
Do you have people always picking your brain about what was here before and all that kind of stuff? And
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
what is the most common question you get? Is it about the fire?
Was I at the Ma Barker shooting?
As
And?
part of the gang?
It's funny. and were you?
No. My father was, but I wasn't.
Oh my gosh, that must have been something.
So tell us a little bit about your history. How far back do you go in Ocala? Were you born and raised here?
I've lived here since 1931.
1931. Wow.
Right. And my father was in the citrus business, and he operated a packing house, a citrus packing house, on what's now State Road 200. But I was born in Delray Beach because my daddy had been reassigned to run a packing house down in Delray, a vegetable packing plant. After a couple of hurricanes blew his packing house away, he moved back to Ocala and announced to the world that South Florida would never amount to a dam.
That's sort of the legacy of our family.
Is that right? Oh my gosh. So what did this look like? Where we're sitting right now, the Paddock Mall. What was here?
It was a farm.
Mm-hmm.
Farm?
Farm,
Like
yes.
a horse farm, or?
Oh no! It was just a regular, straight out farm.
So where was the packing house on 200?
It was where the overpass is.
So really close to what
it
we
was
now.
on the railroad on the overpass.
Oh, my
There was
gosh.
no overpass then. And in fact, there were two packing houses on that railroad. One was over closer to 17th Street.
Wow.
But the one that my dad operated worked at was right at 200.
Robin, what was the name of the hotel your mom and dad owned?
The Lamar.
Do you remember the Lamar Motel?
Right across the street from Morrison's, next to the Village Inn restaurant.
That would have
at
been,
that
what,
time.
the 70s, Robin?
Yeah,
That was the
1973.
That's several decades difference.
So when you look back in your memory from your earliest days, when did you start writing? Well, let me just ask when you started writing as a journalist, whether it was for the Star-Banner or some other publication.
Well, I started writing news stories for the Star-Banner when I was in high school, Ocala High School.
Where was the Star-Banner at that time?
It was at 15 North Main Street. That's at the end of the block.
Okay.
Where the Castro building is. It's at the other end.
Okay.
Oh my.
I don't even know where the Castro building is. Where's that?
That was the #1 building.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's
okay.
now the Katia Vineyards.
Okay, very good. So do you like the way the city has changed? Like that hotel that's going up right now, are you okay with that?
No, I'm not okay with that. I think it's stupid.
Why is that stupid? Why is that stupid?
Because the world has changed since the days Ocala had hotels all over the place. Mm-hmm. It's not the same place now.
But do you remember the hotel that was there?
I remember several hotels.
Mm-hmm.
The Ocala House Hotel on the south side of the square was one of the show places for the state of Florida for years. This was back before 1900.
Oh, wow.
It dated back to the formation of Ocala in whatever year Ocala was formed, 1846, something like that. And had a history that stretched over there. There were several hotels on that site, all of them called the Ocala House.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And why did they tear the courthouse down? Was that a good move, or was that like the one in Citrus County is so majestic looking? Did ours look like that too?
Yes, it looked better. It was a nicer courthouse than Citrus County had. But to ask me to psychoanalyze the members of the city council who decided to tear it down, I'm not capable of doing that. I think they were nuts, but that's just my personal opinion.
That's a good psychoanalysis. Yeah.
Also,
A lot
I
of
think
people agree with
it was
you.
during the time when everything was new. We got to have new. We got to get rid of the old and have new. And I think that was probably part of the thinking, too, because remember, David, we ended up getting the World's Fair lights.
Yes.
And the city put them downtown.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Super modern.
Totally out of place.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I'm glad happened? I'm glad that the ladies who got together to form the Historical Ocala Preservation Society, and were you one of them, by the way? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm so glad you guys, ladies, did what you did, because all those houses would have been gone too, wouldn't they?
Absolutely. And it wasn't just ladies, it was gentlemen also.
Oh, really? I heard it was 3 ladies. I heard there were 3 ladies, or am I wrong about that? The core of it all. You were one of them, right?
Well, it was hatched. The story goes it was hatched in a kitchen on a table. June J. Cox and Shirley Lovell were the instigators, and they pulled their husbands, Bob J. Cox and Armand Lovell, into it. So that's how it actually started. I came on after that initial kitchen meeting, as did others.
Oh, wow. And was it because the houses were threatened to be torn down?
Yes, it was because Winona was going to be basically destroyed.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so glad you did what you did. It just makes... And I'm glad the gazebo was put back. What was that story? Who decided to put the gazebo back to redo that? Or did you not like that idea?
I don't know that story.
Oh, okay.
That happened when I was not in Ocala. I was working in Tallahassee at the time.
Oh, okay. So
I did not know why they moved the gazebo or decided to rebuild a gazebo on the square.
Uh-huh.
The old gazebo had been destroyed years before. And actually, Hops is the group that had that rebuilt. We had the plans. Jim Tatum, who is no longer with us, was on our board. Mm-hmm. He drew up the actual plans from photographs of the old gazebo. And when the gazebo was first built by Hops, it was built on the corner across from Harry's Restaurant, which is where it originally was. And then the city, several years ago, came to Hops and said, would you mind if we moved the gazebo to the other side of the square? Because we really want to use it as a meeting place for activities on the square and downtown. And we said, sure. So that's how it ended up where it is now.
Wow, wow.
Mm-hmm. Rheinauers has an interesting history. Ever since we moved here in 1973, I enjoyed Rheinauers. And through your book, David, that used to be in a different location.
Oh, it's been in several locations. The Rheinauer family, the first members moved here, I believe, in the 1870s and put a place to store then on the east side of the square. But that was destroyed in the Great Fire of 1883 that destroyed most of downtown Ocala. So they rebuilt over on the south side of the square next to what is now Harry's.
Can you tell me? Can you talk about Sally Rand?
No, I never saw Sally Rand.
That's his story, and he's sticking to it.
I read about her.
Tell us about Sally Rand.
Well, Sally Rand came here in the 1930s. She was very popular at the time. She'd been in the movies, and she was putting on fan dance shows in in South Florida, the Miami area, and they announced that she was coming to Ocala, and it set the church ladies on fire because of the publicity that surrounded her, that she danced without any clothes on. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I can imagine it. Yeah.
But covered herself with fans or balloons or whatever. And so the good church ladies got together and tried their best to block her from coming here. But I understand from reading in the paper and talking to people that when she finally presented her show, it was about as mild and unoffensive as you can get. So I don't know whether the good ladies took the fire out of her.
So you said the church men were okay with her coming. The church men, they were okay?
I had never heard of man object.
When Six Gun Territory was under construction, that must have been very exciting for the area.
Well, it was another two-bit tourist attraction coming in. We had them all over the place. Every road you entering Ocala had some so-called tourist attraction on it. So Six Gun, which we had never seen, we had not been to the Carolinas to see what the original looked like. But had we known what it was going to be, we would have been excited. But as it turned out, we would say it was kind of blah, another trap for the tourists.
Oh, right.
But it turned out to be something really good.
It wasn't. It was not a bad
really
one.
Significant.
Did you? Were you friends with Bruce Mozart?
Bruce Mozart, I knew him and knew of him from the earliest days at Silver Springs.
So he had a lot to do with the Silver Springs traffic coming in, right? All again, it goes back to the ladies, showing skin.
Well,
he took a lot of pictures.
Well, Bruce takes credit for creating the underwater pictures, but I have news for you. It was done before Bruce showed up on the scene, and he picked up where others had started. But he's the one who did such a tremendous job.
And
he was a master at creating these things.
Was it Perry? Was Perry the name that he worked with? I remember right.
Well, Newt Perry and Ross Allen were the two showmen at Silver Springs.
Okay.
Your history, we were told you started out writing a sports column.
Yes, what's cooking? I was not the worst sports editor the Star Banner ever had. But I was up there. I was knocking on the door. There have been some subsequently that were a little worse than I was.
We want to ask you who the worst one was. So did you ever see that movie I referenced in the introduction?
Yes, I have a copy of the movie. Most of the movie is filmed in what used to be a drugstore that was where Harry's is now.
That's interesting.
And that's
isn't it?
where most of the movie is filmed. And lots of the parts of the movie, you can look out the door and see the square, see the gazebo, and see part of the Ocala House Hotel. And one scene has a fire in the drugstore, and the fire department, the real fire department, not actors,
I didn't know that.
roaring up with all their machinery to put out the fire, and that is one of the major scenes in the movie.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
And there's
yes.
there's a scene where he's being chased by the townspeople, and it seems like you can see Ocala really well in that scene where he's running.
Well, there are a number of scenes that give you glimpses around the square.
What on the cover of your book looks like a firehouse?
Yes, that's the old fire station that was at Broadway and Osceola.
Okay. And is there a significance behind it being the cover shot for you, or do you just?
Yeah, the significance is that I thought it was a great picture.
The Ocala Bicycle Shop was right next door to it.
Oh, yes, it was. And the other buildings you see the back of there is the Baptist Witness Building, where the first Monroe Hospital was located.
Is that right?
Yes, the Monroe. What became Monroe, it wasn't called that. It's called the Ocala Surgical Hospital in the beginning. But it was on the third floor of that building. And the only access to it was on a stairway on the outside of the building leading up to it.
Oh, my.
Talk about the interstate, the putting in of the interstate. How did that change the town?
Well, of course, it changed the town completely. Up until that time, the Motel Owners Association really controlled politics in Ocala, and had since World War II. They were a dominant force in the building of the interstate, and the development of the interchanges changed that whole picture. And because motels wanted to locate on the interstate, which made good sense financially.
Yeah.
You talk about Oakhurst Plantation.
Yes, that's one of the great stories of Marion County. It was a very romantic story, and of course was turned into a book, a novel, in which the author, who was from Ocala, wrote about, and peopled it with actual citizens around here. And of course, the villain is one of the bankers, one of the leading bankers, and his building is still standing downtown at the corner of Broadway and Magnolia, the 3-story building there in the corner.
Oh my gosh!
So did the legend come from the novel?
No, the legend existed before the novel. The novel took advantage of the legend and elaborated on it. But the legend was there because of the man who created the plantation was an exotic. He was a foreigner. Some say he was Spanish, some say he was French. But his wife, his marriage to his wife, she was killed in a riding accident one day, and he rode back to the mansion, and with her draped across his saddle, dead. And that was the growth of the beginning of the legend. The legend was, after that her horse, a white stallion, would come anytime there was about to be a tragedy in the family. That stallion would come galloping up the driveway and start braying in front of the mansion.
Oh my!
Of course, there's no corroboration of that at all. That was a myth, but it may have been true and may not have been true.
Larry, David was talking earlier, you were asking him about the cover. Local people know who Margaret Peggy Watts is. She's a local artist.
She's
who's
outstanding.
Done incredible work. And she donated the copy of this print for David's book.
Right? Is that right? Her artwork is in Queen of Peace?
Queen of Peace, yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that is some unbelievable artwork in there, isn't it?
Yes, she
And,
worked
and
on that.
her husband was Bernard, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You worked with Bernard, right?
Yes, we worked together. In fact, he was sports editor of the Star Banner, and I replaced him as sports editor.
You didn't like that. Can I ask you about the New York Times buying the Star Banner? Tell me about that. What was the feeling of those who worked for the Star Banner at that time?
We got a new boss.
So that was all it was? Nobody
Right.
had any resentment to the New York Times buying the little...
The New York Times had no reputation in Ocala among us. In fact, there was a considerable pride in being owned by the New York Times because of the distinction of the Times as a news outlet.
Okay, well that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I wasn't sure if it was resented by the locals or
never.
not.
Of course, the current political crowd tries to portray those of us at the Star Banner as ultra liberals, and let me tell you, we could hardly be more conservative. They don't know what they're talking about.
Are you doing a book signing?
Yes.
When and where?
The book signing is going...
You don't know.
He points to me. He just goes where Maclyn and I tell him to go. The book signing is going to be Sunday, February 24th at the Bryant House, which is the Hops headquarters.
Okay.
And that's 712 Southeast Fort King Street. It's going to be from 2 to 4:30. And people can purchase books there and David will sign them, or if they purchase books ahead of time at one of the sale locations, they can bring the book that day, and he will also sign it.
All right, excellent. The book is called The Way It Was. It's written by David Cook. David, I can't express to you how much of an honor it is to have you on the show with us.
Thank you very much.
So can we pick your brain a little bit more? I think we got a little bit more time, like 4 minutes. Yeah?
Can we mention the sale locations?
Absolutely.
The books currently can be purchased at To Your Heart's Desire in the Ocala Shopping Center.
Okay.
Shannon Roth Collections on the Downtown Square, and Ivy on the Square Boutique. They are there right now. $25 each. And when David did the book, he very graciously and generously earmarked all the funds from the book to go to HOPS for us to continue our preservation efforts in the community.
Thank you all for what you do. And David, thank you for that. Can I ask you about the airports, plural, and the air? Wasn't there a military air base or something?
Yes.
What was that story?
The old airport was located, generally speaking, where Target and the car dealerships are on 200. That was the old airport that was came into being in the late 1920s. We had an airport earlier at Silver Springs called the Silver Springs Air Park, but it was never much more than just a rough and ready grass landing strip. And that when World War II was shaping up, the businessmen in Ocala wanted to get a air base located in Ocala because of the weather here was so perfect, or near perfect, that they thought it'd be an ideal place. Other places in Florida, like Sanford and so forth, were getting air bases, so they thought we should have one. And so they set out to get one, and they did. They were able to get a Army Air Corps training school located in Ocala, and it was located where the I think they call that building now the Marion County Technical College on 200. That was where the administrative arm of the training base was located. The hangars were down a little further south, approximately where Target's located. And after the war, the training school was closed, and various businesses, including a shirt factory, moved into the old training facilities.
I remember that shirt factory.
Ocala leaders became concerned about planes taking off and landing over the city. There got to be a lot of concern about what if a plane comes down. It hit right on the square. So they thought we needed a new airport further removed from the downtown area. So they got about as far as they could get. They went out on Southwest 60th Avenue and located some property, some of which was donated and some of which the city purchased with federal dollars to create a new Taylor Field. And it was named after Jim Taylor, who donated much of the original airport, and also whose family, he was dead by then, but his family donated part of the current airport property to that airport. And the airport was named for him. For some reason or other, most people have forgotten Jim Taylor, and even the city neglects from day to day to call it Taylor Field, which is what it is. They want it to be the international something or other.
And it's not.
Which about is the equivalent of calling that local sewer called Tuscaloosa Park, a Tuscaloosa Lake Tuscaloosa.
You're amazing.
They're doing a good job.
I think
They're
you're fabulous.
trying to make that look pretty.
They are.
I thank you so much for your writing over the years. Thank you for deciding to make this a book. There isn't a whole lot written about our area, and it's nice to have something. I think we had the Denell and Boomtown of the 1800s or something like
Yes, right.
one time, and that gives us some insight, but it's mostly about Denellen, of course.
Right, of course, almost entirely.
Yeah, so thank you for doing this. Can you repeat where you're going to be for the book signings, please?
712 Southeast Fort King Street, which is the old Bryant House, which is Hop's headquarters, and that's going to be Sunday, February 24th from 2 to 4:30.
Pamela, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Maclyn, good to see you again.
Nice to see
Thank you for coming in. And David, it's such an honor. Thank you for doing what you do and for coming in to talk to us today.
Thank you very much.
All right, we will be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
America is built and based on liberties and freedoms. Liberty HealthShare brings that to healthcare. The liberty of choosing your own doctor. The liberty of choosing your own hospital. Liberty HealthShare makes healthcare affordable to millions of Americans. Light your liberty, starting at $199 for a single, $399 for a couple. And no matter how big the family, only $529. That's $529 for the entire family. To find out how you can save, go to lightyourliberty.com. That's lightyourliberty.com.
Here is your one-minute news brief. Governor Ron DeSantis wants to give nearly 45,000 teachers a bonus of more than $9,000 in the coming year. He also wants $10 million to pay the college tuition of teachers who agree to teach for 5 years. Senator Dennis Baxley announced the filing of Senate Bill 792, also known as the Fetal Heartbeat Bill, which would prohibit abortions once a fetal heartbeat can be detected. A man driving a stolen Jeep died from injuries sustained in a single-vehicle accident on I-75. A 58-year-old caregiver at a Florida facility in Rockledge for people with disabilities has been accused of impregnating a resident who gave birth in 2015. A bill being introduced in the Florida House would stop cities from banning the use of plastic straws. A utility company is asking a Florida regulatory agency to allow it to add an $8 a month surcharge for residential customers to make up the cost of restoring power and repairing the grid after Hurricane Michael. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Ocala Magazine is the city magazine distributed throughout Ocala, Marion County, and the Villages, providing award-winning coverage of important issues for almost 40 years. Hi, I'm Philip Glassman, publisher of Ocala Magazine. Ocala Magazine offers a platform for branding opportunities for your business or events while covering the latest in local lifestyle throughout print, digital, and social media. Listen every Friday at 10 a.m. on WOCA.
For your Friday, we'll see partly sunny skies, highs in the mid-70s to low 80s. Friday night, partly cloudy, lows in the mid to upper 50s. Then for Saturday, plenty of clouds around. Not as warm, there could be a shower, highs in the upper 60s to mid-70s. And for Sunday, mostly cloudy and breezy with a shower or two, highs in the 70s as well. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Bill Degger.
AccuSleep offers a safe and effective medical option for those who suffer from sleep disorders of all kinds. AccuSleep makes restoring healthy sleep patterns possible. No medication, no surgery, just good sound sleep. Mend your sleep so you can stop counting sheep. Experience restorative sleep at AccuSleep, the acupuncture sleep clinic in Ocala by calling 352-615-5566.
Hi, this is Will.
And this is Wendy of Dex Imaging in Gainesville and Ocala. You know, we live and work in this community just like you, and we wanted to personally invite you to call us with any questions or concerns about your copiers or printers.
Like, how can I save money on my toner? That stuff's expensive.
In most cases, a complimentary workflow analysis has shown we can save your business 20 to 30% on printing cost.
Have you been kicking around the idea of going paperless? Are you considering a document management solution? Maybe you just want to ask some questions, but don't want to be bombarded by aggressive salespeople.
Give us a call. We'll be happy to answer your questions and show you how you can save money with our award-winning copiers and printers and our amazing service team.
Who, in case you didn't know, will be there in 4 hours or less to service your machine, guaranteed. And we have a 97% first-time fix rate. Check us out at deximaging.com or give us a call.
In Ocala, dial 352-433-4090. That's 433-4090.
Hi, I'm Anthony with Finishing Touch Floors. Are you considering covering your old wood floors? Forget about it. Let Finishing Touch Floors restore your old wood floors. We offer sanding, refinishing, installation, and custom colored stains. With over 35 years experience, you need to call 321-396-2657. Let us put the finishing touch on your wood floors. For your free estimate, call 321-396-2657. That's 321-396-2657.
Ocala Business Leaders Incorporated is a group of independent local firms providing a wide range of quality goods and services. Each firm strives to maintain the highest level of professional integrity and 100% customer satisfaction. When you're looking for goods and services, call a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, and we are confident you will be pleased with the results. If you are interested in becoming a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, join us at the Ocala Elks Lodge, 25th Avenue in Ocala, any Wednesday at 7 a.m. and enjoy a breakfast on us.
For more information, check OcalaBusinessLeaders.com.
On Top of the World is having their annual Home Improvement Expo February 16th. Please join us at 9 a.m. on the 13th when representatives of the Expo will be our guests to tell us all about the latest trends in home designs and remodeling. On Top of the World offers this as a free event. So remember, Wednesday the 13th at 9 a.m. to learn more about this